Please welcome to the stage Speaker Director at Collision, Yvonne Redmond.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Collision, the fastest growing technology conference on the North American continent. I hope you all enjoyed yesterday, and I can assure you that the content is just as good today. Delighted to be back with you. As they've said, I'm Yvonne Redmond, Speaker Director for Collision and Web Summit, and I'll be taking you through this morning's proceedings. As you may know by now, each morning and every afternoon before we kick off main stage content, we're showcasing the very best and brightest seed and growth companies at Collision, companies that are creating a real buzz in their industries. We believe that these could be the startups that everyone is talking about in 2020, and we've worked with some of the world's leading startup investors to find them. We've previously profiled major success stories like Monzo Bank, Credit Karma and Jumia in our breakout sessions, and this morning we think you'll agree that the stories, and more importantly the ideas behind the next companies that you're about to meet, are absolutely incredible. So, let's get started. Our first company has designed a smart power bank that fits right in the palm of your hand, but is still powerful enough to charge an impressive range of devices. Please give their founder and CEO a warm welcome, Jason Wong, everybody.
Good morning, everybody. I'll start off by showing you some of the changes that's happening around us right now. Car makers are going from gas to electrics. We're taking scooters to become e-scooters and e-bikes to get to our last mile destination. Even we have dog bots coming to our neighborhood nearby. That is a $1.2 trillion market by 2025. The centerpiece of everything is lithium power, but we have a problem. We're pushing technologies faster than what the lithium power can do. Let me show you why. Electric vehicles, 5 hours of charge, 5 hours of use. Tesla Supercharge, 1 hour, 5 hours. But what about e-scooters and drones? They're actually not that great. 4 hours and you get 1 hour usage. The performance is not that great. So what's happening here? If we take a look at the comparison between electric vehicles and scooters, you'll see a major difference. The scooter batteries are not that high tech. They're not that advanced. So what can we do to improve that? So that's what we did. We kind of took a look at the problem and said, what can we advance? What can we utilize? And we discovered our solution. Two things. One is getting a charging algorithm that can learn the charging cycle of these lithium cells. Next, we want to advance the battery management system to control the charging and discharging. And we discovered that we can achieve a 13x improvement, which makes it that you don't have to wait 4 hours anymore. You can reduce that down to 18 minutes. So what's happening here is we can now not wait for e-scooters that have juicers running around. This can be on the go right away. We also have delivery robots that's going to be active in our cities, delivering packages anywhere. So we want to be able to flash charge them and get them on the road to solve the last mile delivery problem. A bit about us. So we're OmniCharge. We've been working on power solutions for mobile professionals out there to develop basically an integrated solution that can power any device wherever they go. We work with many different institutions for members in different companies such as WeWork, Army, NASA. And what we're doing is providing the power inside their companies to be able to take anywhere with them. So that's who we are. We're OmniCharge. We make power accessible anytime, anywhere. Thank you very much.
I don't think we've ever had anyone come in under time, so congratulations to Jason for being such a pro. Next, I'd like to introduce you to a company based right here in Toronto, which builds platforms for micro-banking, micro-payments, and micro-monetization. And while they're focused on the micro, there is nothing small about the impact this company is having. To tell us more about Quid, please welcome their CEO, Mohit Cheppudira.
Hi, folks. I'm Mo from Quid. We are a Toronto-based production, so I'm extra excited to be here today. What if you could spend pennies on the internet? What if you could spend 10 cents for an article in the newspaper online instead of paying $12 a month for a subscription? What if you could spend 20 cents to watch a video or listen to a podcast? Or charge pennies for your API requests millions of times a day on your SaaS application? Historically, this kind of thing has not been possible, primarily because the unit economics for micropayments has not worked out. The typical credit card transaction processing fee is 30 cents. So what that means is, if you even wanted to charge 50 cents, you're going to be spending about 31 cents in fees, which is kind of crazy. If you wanted to charge a penny, it's basically impossible, unless you're in the business of losing 29 cents a transaction. So the internet, over the years, has come up with band-aids. One of them is ads, which makes your website look like this. Or you have complex bundling schemes, like subscriptions. And the thing with subscriptions is the average millennial spends about $200 a month on subscriptions. So for them to subscribe to your thing, they're going to consider really hard unsubscribing from someone else's thing. So if one wins, the other loses. It's a zero-sum game. At Quid, we're building one of the world's first micropayment processors. So we can actually process pennies on the internet without a base fee. We have out-of-the-box support for content creators, bloggers, podcasters, and we also have an extremely rich set of APIs that allow you to build all kinds of interesting applications. We have plugins for things like WordPress and Wix, and you have things like, you have some examples over here. We have a Wi-Fi hotspot built on a Raspberry Pi that charges a penny per minute for internet access, or a fitness application that pays 5 cents to charity every time you miss your fitness goals for the day. So Quid is here. Quid is here now. We are available to merchants in the US and Canada. We accept payments from anywhere in the world. So micropayments is here today. So and think about it. Consider it. What could you do if you could spend pennies on the internet? We're here all week. We have a booth on Thursday. Come by, say hello, have a fantastic conference. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mohit, for that. Now, this next company focuses on changing how we shop. Caper builds smart shopping carts powered by deep machine learning to enable cashierless checkouts. Let's hear more from their CEO and co-founder of Caper, Lindon.
Good morning, everyone. Very nice to meet you. My name is Lindon, the CEO of Caper. Now, before I start the presentation, I just want to take a quick survey around the room. Who here shopped in the grocery store by show of hands? Well, awesome. All right, for those of you who did not raise your hand, good for you. You don't have to get your own groceries. Well, so a lot of people have been talking about the e-commerce dominating retail and how there's a retail apocalypse. But I think it's really important to point out that more than 97% of grocery is still transacted in a physical store today. And in this gigantic market, there has been no innovation for over the past hundreds of years. So what we have decided to do here in Caper is to turn one of the most conventional tools, a shopping cart, into a smart cart that is powered by deep learning and computer vision to directly allow automated checkout so that you could directly walk into the store and walk out. So how does it work? As soon as customers walk into the store, they could pick up a Caper cart. Sorry, guys. They could pick up a Caper cart, and while they're tossing the items inside the cart, our cart leverages computer vision and sensor fusion to directly detect and identify this item as you're putting it in there. So you could just directly toss items in there as you go. Our cart is also enabled by a weight sensor, so it could directly measure the weight of the produce that you're putting in. And once you're done, you could directly insert your credit card, pay for it, and then leave the store. The really cool thing about what we're building is that we have already launched in New York, and we're used by thousands of customers, and customers are loving it. We're also bringing this technology to Canada soon, too. So amongst a lot of our customers who used it, they don't just love the checkout experience. Checkout is really just the tip of the iceberg here to the entire shopping journey. And Caper interfaces with every single shopper during that shopping journey. So how do we do it? We could help customers find the items that they want inside the store. We could give recommendations based on what they have inside the basket. And we could also give them shop by recipe recommendations to discover new items. And with all of these features, we were able to increase average basket size by more than 10%.
Now that is really powerful. So here in Caper, we're not just innovating checkout experience, we're innovating the entire retail shopping experience. And we're super excited to be at the forefront of defining the future of retail. Thank you.
Thank you, Lindon. Now, the aptly named Craft is a company using machine learning-powered data and analytics to map the global economy. No mean feat, right? Please welcome the founder and CEO, Ilya Levtov.
Hello, my name's Ilya Levtov. I'm co-founder and CEO of Craft. It's wonderful to be here. We're building the source of truth on companies. I'd like to start with a question. Who's the source of truth on the web? Google. Thank you. Who's the source of truth on people? LinkedIn. Who's the source of truth on real estate? At least in the US, it's Zillow. And who's the source of truth on companies? Well, hasn't been built yet. Clicker's a bit slow. So what does source of truth on companies actually mean? We break it down into 3 dimensions. What data, on which companies, for which use cases? On the data dimension, there's financial data, operating metrics and KPIs, human capital, social and environmental impact. On the companies dimension, there are public companies, startups, and about 64 million other companies that are neither public nor startup. On the use cases that find this valuable, sales, supply chain, finance, investment research, talent and recruitment, and others. So when you look in our space, typically other companies are occupying a smaller cube or shape within the big cube. For example, what's a company that has a lot of credit data focused on the financial use case? Dun & Bradstreet. What's a company that has financial metrics primarily for investors, but really only on public companies? Yahoo Finance. And here's what we're building, the entire cube. All data on all companies for all use cases. So how do we do it? We extract data from thousands of sources, company websites, information platforms, and the whole world of unstructured data. This flows into 2 primary channels. Our website, craft.co, is coming up to 1 million monthly active users. Our enterprise APIs are used by Fortune 500 companies, small, medium enterprises, and hedge funds, and various investor groups. So that's Craft. Thanks very much. If you're interested to learn more, please visit us at craft.co or drop us a line at hello@craft.co. Thank you.
So baby tech and kid tech are hot, hot, hot right now, and this Colorado marketplace is getting in on the action. Goodbye Gear does exactly what the name suggests. It's a good place to buy and sell second-hand gear for kids and for babies. Here to share their story, please welcome co-founder and CEO, Kristin Langenfeld.
When you have a baby, you end up accumulating so much stuff. But it's stuff you really need, sometimes only for a matter of months or even weeks. And then what do? You're left with a household full of stuff that has to go somewhere because you need room for the next set of gear for your child. And you'd think parents would turn to sites like this, Facebook, Craigslist, Kijiji, but it's a terrible experience. You have to go back and forth on messages and emails with complete strangers, and then have an awkward negotiation about the price. And then you coordinate your schedules, and you drive across town, and you meet somebody in a parking lot. It's unsafe and a complete waste of time. After interviewing over 200 parents, we discovered our actual competition is this: your basement, your garage, or the local Goodwill. The thing is, this stuff is actually worth a lot of money. If you add it up, parents are spending, on average, $1,300 per child per year on gear that has another life in it. With 23 million families in the US in our target profile, that's over $15 billion in potential value sitting in basements every year. not to mention $7 billion in return baby goods that retailers can't process, but we can. At Goodbye Gear, we've developed a new age marketplace that takes all the friction out of selling. Here's how it works. All gear is processed by our amazing workforce of wing moms. These wing moms are our secret to scaling. They are extremely efficient and industry experts, and they leverage the advanced technology that we've developed to streamline and standardize the posting process, including custom descriptions, quality checks, pricing, and other data such as dimensions for over 3,000 SKUs in our database. And we've proven that we can scale the unit economics. We've sold over 10,000 items in the last year in our first 2 markets, and we're expanding into Dallas and other markets later this year. Toronto's on the roadmap. Jessica and I are the co-founders, and we're moms, so we get it. And our mission is to change the market for secondhand gear and make it accessible for all. We see a future where we're no longer buying cheap plastic because we can buy well-made, quality gear from us, giving awesome gear another life, and another life, and another life, saving not only Mother Earth, but your money and your time. Thank you.
Thank you to Kristin for that. Now, if baby tech is your thing and you're here tomorrow, we have a whole stage for that particular subject and others like at HealthConf on stage 4, which you may want to check out. Coming up next on this stage, though, another Toronto-based company making blockchain-powered video games, which they say belong to the players. Let's hear more about Horizon Games from the company's co-founder and chief storyteller, Michael Sanders, everybody.
Imagine a world that belongs to all of us, an entire reality that everyone co-creates, a new dimension where everyone gets to play. I'm Michael, chief storyteller at Horizon Games, where we're pioneering a new dimension of gaming for players and creators. Video gamers today spend $32 billion on digital game items. Some items like cards, swords, and costumes start selling for as low as a few cents, while others become so valuable they sell for $6 million, like Planet Calypso in Entropia Universe. Unfortunately, most games today forbid players from trading or reselling their game items, which means that gamers spend $32 billion on their items, and yet they don't actually own them. We're here to change all of that. The new dimension we're building at Horizon starts with Arcadium, a digital arcade where every game item is actually a cryptocurrency that players can own. For players, Arcadium is a place to discover new games, win valuable game items, and trade or sell goods in the marketplace. For developers, Arcadium is an open, programmable world to create new games that benefit from crypto economics. For all users, we've made the experience easy and intuitive, so no one needs to know anything about blockchain or crypto to play, create, and have fun. Today, we're announcing Skyweaver, our first game of this new dimension. Skyweaver is a free-to-play 1-versus-1 card game where the cards themselves are a form of cryptocurrency. Players battle each other, and the winner receives a newly generated card on the blockchain. Players can trade or sell their cards however they like, and they keep the profits. And Skyweaver's just the beginning. Arcadium grants players access to a network of games that's already begun with Ethereum-based video games. Players can win rewards in one game and spend those rewards in another. All games are interconnected, and value can be transferred between them in this new dimension. At Horizon, we've got a brilliant, diverse team. John helped make Magic, one of the most popular card games ever. Will did his PhD in next-level math and is a blockchain wizard. Hanny helped launch some of the incredible Far Cry games, and Peter built and sold 2 successful tech companies. We're backed by visionary investors like Alexis Ohanian, Initialized, Coinbase, Golden, and more. Our private beta begins in 2 weeks, and you can sign up now at skyweaver.net. Come play and co-create the new dimension with us.
Thank you so much, Michael. Now, for those of you joining us standing down the back, if you would like a seat, there are plenty here on the far left and the far right for you. Now, with hundreds of new satellites launching every year, the amount of Earth observation data available to us is rather appropriately on the up. Our next company allows their customers to start analysing that incredible data in mere seconds. Let's hear more from CEO and co-founder of Skywatch, James Slifierz.
Thousands of satellites are being sent up into space to capture images like this. This is unlocking amazing capabilities, like being able to monitor the world's shipping ports, or being able to monitor the nefarious activities of governments, or supplying autonomous farming machines with the data they need to improve crop yields and lower the cost of food production. The thousands of potential applications for satellite imagery should remind us of another space-based technology which we take for granted, GPS. GPS is such a great technology because we can use it without understanding anything about satellites. Unfortunately, to use satellite imagery, you do need to understand satellites. And this has made accessing satellite imagery very difficult and very expensive. Until now. Skywatch has built a machine-to-machine infrastructure that tightly integrates the world's satellite operators, space agencies, and ground stations. We abstract the complexity of all of that by providing our customers, who are in many industries, with a very simple-to-use API that allows them to easily programmatically integrate satellite imagery into their software in minutes. It's beautifully simple. Just one API call With just one API call, it can tell us exactly what your imagery requirements are. We then take that request and forward it to the satellite, which we calculate can best fulfill your imagery requirements. Your image is captured, processed, and then returned back to your API endpoint, where with one API call, you can retrieve it to be displayed or analyzed inside of your application. So from your application to a sensor in space and back with just 2 API calls. It's like magic. So let's say that you do want to monitor the world's shipping ports. Just ensure that in your API call, you include your date range, resolution requirements, and your coordinates, and we'll take care of the rest. Or let's say that you do want monthly imaging of that uranium enrichment plant in North Korea. Be sure to include a frequency parameter of 30 days, and we'll handle the rest. Or let's say you want to use satellite imagery to optimize the use of water and fertilizer on your smartphone, on your smart farm. Just include a NDVI output parameter, and this is what you'll get. So, Skywatch is empowering billions of devices to leverage the sensors up there to make decisions down here. If you had programmatic access to all of the world's imaging satellites, what would you build? Please tell me directly at james@skywatch.com or visit our booth tomorrow at B143. Thank you.
Now, this next company helps businesses to detect fraudulent documents, fostering B2C trust and enabling faster growth. Please put your hands together for the co-founder and CEO of Inscribe, Ronan Burke.
Good morning, everyone. What you're looking at here is a fraudulent utility bill that was used to open up a bank account. I'm going to give you a couple of seconds to try spot the forgery. Let's see if you can do it. Don't worry if you didn't spot it. Most businesses can't either. And this is application fraud. It's where people provide false or misleading information to obtain a product or service. It can include concealed addresses, inflated incomes, misleading employment details, and many more. It's extremely difficult to detect, and it's not only banks who suffer from this problem, it's also lending companies, insurance companies, marketplaces, and governments. They're all spending hours manually reviewing applications every day. Imagine doing this for millions of them. It's almost impossible to do effectively. And the problem is getting worse. Firstly, more businesses are going online along with their application processes. Secondly, the rate of fraud is increasing at an unrelenting pace across all industries. I'm here to show you how we're using technology to solve this. My name is Ronan, and I am the CEO and co-founder of Inscribe. We're building an API to detect fraudulent applications so businesses can trust their customers and grow faster. We launched less than a year ago. We raised over $3 million from investors, including Y Combinator, and we're now helping some of the largest fintech lenders in the world reduce fraud. So how do we do it? When a business receives an application, we examine all the information they have on that customer, as well as their supporting set of documents under 3 pillars. The first pillar is where we examine the documents for any signs of tampering using computer vision and advanced forensics. The second pillar is where we verify key details against many databases, for example, confirming if the business actually exists and the address is actually real. Finally, with all the information that we receive, we identify patterns of fraud that we can monitor for in all future applications, which get stronger and stronger over time. So these 3 pillars are replacing the existing processes of visual inspection, Google searches, and gut feeling. So not only do we do it better, we can do it in seconds instead of hours. We're Inscribe, and we're building an API to detect fraudulent applications. If you'd like to learn more, come talk to us. Thank you.
Thank you, Ronan. Now, our next founder and CEO produces and sells plant-based substitutes for dairy and eggs, which, given the current zeitgeist, is a pretty timely way to do food business. Please give a warm welcome to the stage to Spiro Foods' Phaedra Randolph.
Years ago, plant-based dairy barely comprised 1% of the US market. But fast forward to today, and 1 in 2 US consumers is trying plant-based dairy. But these consumers are not fully adopting plant-based dairy into their diets. Why is that? It's because the current products just aren't good enough, yet. Recent research shows that consumers want products that taste better, are cheaper, are more nutritious, and are made from clean ingredients without the use of soy or preservatives. At Sparrow, we are reinventing dairy and eggs from plants. And our products are unparalleled in taste, are more affordable, are high in protein and natural nutrition, and are made from clean ingredients. As an added bonus, they're more environmentally sustainable. But not only are our products game-changing, so is our approach. As a former software engineer at Facebook, having studied biosciences and engineering at Cornell University, Sparrow is taking a novel approach to food innovation at the confluence of bioresearch and data science. With pending patents filed under the world's leading biotech firm, Sparrow will be entering into every major dairy and egg category as we scale. But don't just listen to me. Hear what customers have to say. Customers go crazy for Sparrow, even saying that Sparrow and Impossible Foods are the game-changing food companies in the United States. Backed by Y Combinator, Soma Capital, and angels who are early in Stitch Fix, Uber, and Cruise, Sparrow is disrupting the dairy sector, and we're scaling incredibly fast. So I will leave you with this. There are a lot of you, and there's only one food company, so come see what Sparrow is all about at our booth. Thank you.
So I guess by now you see why we picked these companies. We're confident you are very much witnessing the stars of tomorrow among them. Our next company, which automates AI-powered conversations over text message, delivering real-time insights about your customers' experiences. What could be more valuable to your business? Let's get the founder and CEO of Chatter Research up here, Simon Foster, everybody.
Good morning, everyone. This past weekend, you visited the Gap or Home Depot or McDonald's, and you made a purchase and they handed you this and they said, please fill out our online survey. And I know that everyone here took it home, entered the 22-digit survey code, and completed the online survey, right? Maybe not. Nor does anyone else on this planet. And that's a problem because businesses invest a lot to better understand their consumers, to deliver the best possible customer experience. At Chatter, we said, well, what if we could engage those same consumers literally as they're walking out of the store on the communication platform they prefer, text message. And that's what we do today. We hear from 30,000 consumers every single day walking out of stores and restaurants to ask them about the experience they just had. What we deliver to the enterprise customers that we have is, first of all, they hear from a lot more customers. It's a better data set. Rich quantitative and qualitative detail about the experience you just had. We really want to understand the why and reduce the time it takes to get actionable insights from all of that data from a month to now, true real time. But there's one more bigger problem we solve, and that is a survey. No matter how you deliver it, what you learn from it has everything to do with the questions you thought to ask. And we realized that's a very limited approach. And so we built an AI that currently listens for 850 topics specific to customer experience. So you as the consumer lead the conversation. You say anything you want about the experience you just had, good or bad, big or small, and our job is to listen and ask intelligent questions so that we can get at the best insight. And it's that approach that allowed us for a large North American retailer to discover the previously unknown number 1 and number 2 drivers of customer satisfaction. And for a Fortune 500 to deliver a 17% increase in customer satisfaction in 3 months after 5 years of no gains. And so for us, all of that data capture feeds our database growth that allow us as a company to deliver insights that no other company can. We already work with some fantastic enterprise retailers and hospitality companies. Our MRR is growing 27% month over month for each of the past 12 months. We have a team that has done this before, specializing in consumer research and real-time data and analytics. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Simon. Now, our next founder of this morning's session has created an invaluable support network for his customers. Glen Moriarty has built an online therapy provider and an on-demand emotional health service as well. He's been waiting patiently backstage to tell you about his company, 7 Cups. So please, let's welcome to the stage, Glen Moriarty.
One in 5 of us is struggling right now. All of us have loved ones that are suffering. Depression, anxiety, substance use, it's all going up. A person dies by suicide every 40 seconds. Carl Jung said, the symptom is the key. If you're a runner and your knee hurts, you listen to that pain. You rest, you stretch. Our societies right now are telling us that we have a lot of people in pain. We need to listen. I started 7 Cups. I'm a psychologist. I was studying behavior that's offline that hasn't yet moved online. Dating was offline, then it moved online. Learning was offline, then it moved online. I was talking to my wife, who's a therapist. She's listening to me, and I started to feel better, and it hit me. The need to talk to somebody and have somebody really listen to you is the behavior that's offline that hasn't yet moved online. So we started 7 Cups, a free emotional support service where anybody, anywhere in the world, can chat with a trained active listener. I was the first listener, my wife was the second. We now have 340,000 listeners in 189 countries, providing support in 140 languages. Let me tell you why our current healthcare system is never really going to work. If you look up here, you can see the rising demand. More and more people need help, but we don't have enough providers, so we're not able to help the amount of people we want to help. Now look at the 7 Cups model below. Same amount of people need help, but volunteers work with providers, and as a consequence, you have way more people helped. See how that scales? We've had the benefit of working with universities, governments, health systems. They're all plugging into 7 Cups to better help their people. They're helping us become smarter in the process. And I need your help, too. Clay Shirky came up with this idea called the cognitive surplus. When humans are not busy watching the news or watching TV, we work together and we create beautiful things like Wikipedia. I believe we have a compassion surplus. There are people all around the world that want to make a difference, that want to help. And we're just beginning to leverage technology to unlock that compassion, to better scale care. And as tech people, I think we have to keep in mind that the most powerful technology we have is an ancient social medicine called compassion. Compassion is how we're going to heal our society, and it's going to be how we're going to solve our healthcare challenges. Thank you.
Thank you, Glen, for that. Next, we'll welcome the 2 co-founders of Bloom to the stage, the first direct-to-consumer brand focused on puberty, covering everything from trustworthy education to safe and effective self-care products. So please put your hands together for the sisters behind it, Bunny and Taran Ghatrora.
Only 26 states in the US mandate sex ed, and Ontario just reverted back to a pre-1993 sex ed curriculum.
60% of our audience of girls and women told us that they felt their self-esteem plummet as they went through puberty.
And that's why we created Bloom, the brand girls grow up with. My name is Taran.
And my name is Bunny. Bloom is setting a new precedent for sex ed and self-care products as girls go through puberty and beyond.
We started Bloom because there is no comprehensive brand that provides both accurate sex ed and safe, effective products for girls as they navigate this time.
From pesticides in our tampons to benzoyl peroxide on our skin, legacy brands are not meeting today's consumer where she is.
More than a product, we're a community that connects girls and allows them to feel part of something as they're going through this time. We're changing the stats and setting a new standard for puberty education and self-care.
We sell to our customer in 4 distinct ways. Firstly, through direct-to-consumer on our website with products that were crowd-created with our community. We're vegan and cruelty-free, and these products are truly made with our customer in mind. Customers can shop one time or through a subscription. We focus heavily on content through Bloom University and partner with strategic retailers like Urban Outfitters.
It's evident that the personal care landscape is changing. Startups are taking market share away from large CPG brands, and Gen Z consumers especially care about the mission and values behind the brands that they support.
Bloom is creating the next generation of confident, tenacious, and informed young women who are excited and eager to grow into the very best versions of themselves.
We launched Bloom June of 2018, and we've been growing month over month around 30%. And this past February, we raised $3.3 million from Felicis Ventures, and we're just getting started. To join us on our mission, visit us at meetbloom.com and follow us on Instagram at meetbloom, and don't forget to share with a teen in your life. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks to Bunny and Taran for that. Now, if you've enjoyed what you've seen here this morning so far, we will have more breakthrough stars this afternoon at lunchtime here at Centre Stage. But before all that, we do, of course, have a full lineup of content for you this morning from Centre Stage, starting in 15 minutes. You don't want to miss it. We'll see you then.
This is the place to come to see the best new startups across Asia.
The finalists for the pitch this year were amazing.
Pitch just now felt amazing.
There's such a huge audience. You feel like you're in the center of the world.
Follow your dreams, stick to it, push yourself.
For me, there's hope for the future with all these very bright young people to make the world better.